You see that? Today, we are going to do some indoor seed starters outdoors before the indoors. You know what I mean. So I kind of talked about this in my climate zone video. I made a list of things that we are going to start indoors for the current season. It's actually a really nice day outside, so I'm going to do the little tutorial in that little box garden back there that I so nicely assembled. And we're going to show you / I'm going to kind of learn and show y'all how I start seeds indoors and some of the tools that I use so that you can either follow along, or if you have any critiques or better ways of doing this, let me know. So let's get started. Alright, so these are all the seeds that we're going to start with. I talked about them before, but we're just going to go one by one to see what we're working with. So the first one we have is called kohlrabi, which is kind of like a German turnip apparently. And then we have the long day onion, followed by its better half, the short day onion. Then we have peas. Then we got broccoli, which I've grown before. That's always really fun to grow, so I'm excited for that one. And then we have a kind of lettuce. I accidentally ripped off the name, but it is in fact lettuce. And we got some spinach, and this is what we're working with. So I use these 2 plastic containers where you're going to put seeds in each one of these little pockets here. There's little drainage holes down at the bottom, and I'll show you the other pieces of it later, but this is where we're going to start. So this is the soil that I typically use for starting seeds, especially indoors. It's the Seed Starting Potting Mix by Miracle-Gro. It's pretty basic. You can get it at Lowe's, Home Depot, almost any gardening supply company that you'll use. So let's get our hands a little dirty. We have our little seed starter, and we're just gonna grab a big old thing of dirt, yeet it in there. You want to fill each little pot up all the way. You want a good amount of dirt in there, but you don't want to pack it in there too tightly because you want room for those seeds to grow. So I'm just trying to even it out a little bit. There we go. Get dirty. All right, let's do our second one. There's these giant sticks I keep finding it. That part is annoying. There's like these giant mulchy sticks in there. See, there's another one. All right, we got our 2 seed starter packets here, and so I'm going to do first one as an example is the short day onion. So I'm going to do an example of putting these into one row, and then basically on your own you'll repeat the process, and I'll repeat the process with the other ones. So we're going to put them in this first long row here, which is kind of funny. I didn't know what onion seeds looked like until now, but they're teeny tiny. So I take this Sharpie, I'm going to make tiny little indents in the soil. And then I'm going to take each seed and drop one into the little indentation that I made. It's so hard to tell if it even went in because the seed's black, the dirt's black. It's so tiny. And then I just kind of cover it back up. Put a little bit more dirt over it, and then we're good to go. Put our excess seeds back, and then it's really important that you label which seeds belong to which plant, because when you're plotting your garden you're going to want to know which one's which. So alright, we're going to jump ahead to what to do once you have all your seeds in. So these little greenhouses have drainage trays for the bottom, so like I said, there's little holes underneath, and so that's where the water will drain down below. So this comes with the little package that I have. I can link it into the description. The miniature greenhouses have tops to them to basically kind of like seal them off and create the greenhouse effect, is my understanding of it. You can keep them open or closed based on the dial above, but I'm going to keep it closed and sealed for the purpose of keeping moisture in there. And so this is what they'll look like when they're all fully assembled. Because you want to keep everything nice and moist when you're sprouting your seeds, I always just add a little bit of water in them before I reseal them. You don't want to like drown them in water, but you do want to keep the soil moist, so we're just going to go ahead and water those. And then you want to put them by a window somewhere where there's sunlight, but indoors. You want it to be indoors. That's the important part. But there we go. There's our seeds.